It's really my very great pleasure to be here to welcome you to this 13th annual National Academy's Keck Frontiers Conference.
I think we're all sort of at the point where we don't quite know what's going to happen, and that's pretty exciting.
The participants are just so aware that they're in a place where something special is really happening.
Really?
I'm really looking forward to a productive and daring conversation.
In the cell biology, nobody cares about theory.
They're invoking the dance.
As I read the bios on my way here, I got intimidated and couldn't wait to open conversations with people that I might not have a chance to meet otherwise.
Do you guys know each other?
We do now.
NAKFI Conference is a gathering of brilliant minds from different backgrounds to come together to translate ideals into action.
I've met science writers, artists, theater people, dancers.
It's kind of like a public square where we bring everybody together to collaborate.
This year's theme is about exploring the potential of collaboration between very diverse epistemologies such as science and art.
The creativity of science is underestimated, and I think the discipline and rigor that's required to create really effective art is also underestimated.
Even if people are just going to do engineering or product development, they like being in an intellectually stimulating environment that has the arts, that has music.
It seems to me that the presence of artists among the scientists brings out empathy.
Lots of different perspectives, and so we'll see how far we can get in 3 days.
It's a very intense conference this year where we're asking participants in 3 days to use this initiative to explore issues related to our environment, our health, some larger questions that impact how we live today and how we think about tomorrow.
What will the intentional inclusion of art and design in this mix do for NAKFI? I'm excited to see what we're going to learn.
Our hypothesis was to empower the individual more about managing their health.
We can't change their socioeconomic situation, but we may change their sense of self-motivation.
We've got 20 minutes. I'm really pushing to have something.
The first day, participants are taking seed ideas and making them their own.
We want to build a networking platform which could connect local stakeholders all over the planet with localized environmental issues.
Taking a look at the power of movement and trying to use science to help describe its powers.
Figuring out how to bridge the divide between science deniers and the scientists who are trying to convince them, and trying to figure out whether or not we can create safe spaces to all interact together and have a more constructive conversation.
Einstein had a friend, Bessel, who supported him emotionally. Why not have a virtual Bessel for every person who will encourage creativity?
Let's just imagine that Besso existed. So what were the Bessos doing last night whilst we were sleeping?
From an operational standpoint, I think you need to start thinking about hierarchical priorities.
If we created a problem-solving center where people knew that in coming here, you're opening yourselves up to new ways of being.
This is probably the most challenging of the conferences for several reasons. It's pulling together two quite different communities.
Yeah, well, so the science is really kind of in these things already.
Yeah, I'm just imagining this all as art. And I'm saying, where's the science going to fit in? So
Okay,
it's just, we have really different kinds of thinkers. So there are people who consistently will pull it way out to really big. And there are people who really want to get concrete.
It's an interesting process. At times has tension, and at times we feel we get all excited and, you know, talk over each other.
What she's saying is educate their own word is make available to them information about it.
I have to say that at the moment we're having a bit of a crisis within the group, having an inability to bridge the gap between some of the group members. So we just try to do a game that was supposed to relax everyone, and we'll see how that works.
They are working in their teams to flesh out their midway pitches in the morning. We are letting them do it over dessert, s'mores, and drinks.
bright and early this morning at 7:45, and whatever they did between when we left them and when we saw them again this morning was great. We're really excited to see where they're going next.
We propose to develop a personal platform to integrate sensing of our microbiomes, to report these as sounds, for which we have excellent pattern recognition.
And we're going to construct a plug-and-play global brain automation system. We're going to construct the assembly line for the global knowledge economy.
Would you like to live in a world that has greater empathy, greater compassion, and more music? Thank you.
And yet it seems friendly when you approach it.
One of the things that we're doing is creating creative disruptions. Little unexpected things will occur, little performances, little exhibits of artwork.
I just came back from the Rain Room where we saw Hannes's exhibit. That was phenomenal. Liz Lehrman's thing blew my mind. It was so much fun. So I think there's so much going on.
These creative disruptions will help motivate people to be more creative.
Whatever you can share in terms of what your ideas, if you give something to look at, would be great.
Okay, so our topic was creating human-centered cultures with human-centered technologies. We had over a dozen ideas.
It's been thrilling to see how the ideas have emerged with a coherence that was not surely obvious yesterday morning. Firstly, I think that's such a profound idea. I would, given the amount of time, you want to really impact people. Now we're preparing for the final presentations, and we will soon see the result.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Really beautiful
very,
dance.
Very fun.
It's been humbling, actually, to get to know the people here and really understand the passion that drives them, the love that drives what they do, and their connection to the world.
This afternoon, as we finished up our pitch decks, every slide has a contribution from every single team member.
Enter Virtual BISSELL, an adaptive, augmented, creative platform to be used when people are walking.
Our proposal is an inquiry framework to cultivate empathy by building a collaborative network of communities, scientists, and artists.
Terrible. That was so much fun, actually. Maybe one last round of applause for all of you. You guys were just amazing.
Kick-ass teamwork. We're assigned something to do. We had a capacity to do it, and then we did it.
So I'm at a point in my career where I'm trying to figure out what the next 10 years will look like. And by coming to this conference, that space and the possibilities have expanded.
Session experience is like a metaphor for the toughest challenges society faces. There's not an easy solution to any of this, and no one idea and no one set of ideas is going to carry the day. You come into this with a certain set of biases. You fight through that and you say, you know what, the collective ends up better than each individual piece. And maybe that's the approach that we need to start sharing with all of our colleagues in everything we do.